Welcome to the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast. My name is Katie Dodd and I am a nutrition entrepreneur. But here's the catch. I have a full-time traditional dietitian job. My entrepreneurial endeavors are my side hustle. I've been making six figures through my job and side hustle doing things that I love. If I can do it, you can too. This podcast is for dietitians, interns, and students who want to be inspired to start or perfect the side hustle of their dreams. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to the 57th episode of the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast, my blog side hustle. In today's episode, I want to talk to you guys all about my side hustle based in blogging. I want to tell you guys more about why I chose blogging for a side hustle, how you actually make money blogging, and then I want to really break down how long it actually takes to start making money, and I also want to share the timeframes and the actual numbers from my blog business so you can get an idea of like, okay, is the idea of, starting a side hustle based on blogging actually worth it? Because you've probably heard me say before that blogging is a long-term game. It's not something where you simply push publish on a website and you're rolling in the dough. That is not how it works at all. But if you do the work and you're willing to stick with it, do the right strategy, all of the things, it is so worth it for an amazing, fulfilling, and profitable side hustle. So why did I choose blogging for my side hustle? Well, I will tell you, I got a full-time job. I've got kids, a family, a life outside of my side hustle. And it was really important to me that I picked a side hustle that didn't require specific time chunks. So for example, like if I'm working with patients one-on-one, I have, specific time that I have to work with them one-on-one. And there's not a lot of flexibility. If I have a patient waiting for me on, Friday at 6 p.m., I got to be there Friday at 6 p.m., even if something comes up. So I wanted something that was more flexible so I can do my side hustle in the morning, in the evening, on the weekends, like whenever it worked good for me. I wanted to have that flexibility to do the side hustle when I wanted to do it. Now, you also may have heard me share in the past, I also wanted a side hustle that did not require individual patient care. That's something I do in my full-time job, and while I love patients, it just wasn't something I wanted to do on the side. So blogging had its appeal because I could do it on my own time completely, and it didn't require one-on-one patient care. So how do you actually make money blogging? Now, I feel like this is a very common question that people have because if you were like me a few years ago, I had no idea that you could actually make money blogging. But you make money blogging by, first off, you have to learn the right strategy to bring lots of people to your website. Once you get lots of people to your website, then that's the opportunity to make sales. Now you can be selling maybe digital cookbooks, digital books, real books, digital handouts. You could have courses on your websites. You could have affiliate links where you sell someone else's product or service. You could have ads on your website. Ads is a big part of my side hustle, my blog side hustle. And so there's lots of different ways that we can make money. But the key thing with blogging is that you have to have people coming to the blog and ways to make money. So ways that you can bring in, I call it multiple streams of income. But, going back to why I chose blogging, another one of the main reasons why I chose blogging is that it was a way to create streams of passive income. Now, I love passive income, and I feel like it's sometimes this mythical unicorn of the side hustle or entrepreneurial world. And I think it's because there's this misconception that passive income means I make money without working. And while, yes, in some ways that's true, that's the vision, it's kind of like blogging. It's a long-term game, right? You don't just suddenly, that doesn't even make sense, right? Like I don't do any work and I suddenly make money. That's not how it works. You have to be very strategic and knowledgeable and create systems to continue to have sales that don't require your time. And when it comes to blogging, this is how it works. People are coming to my blog every single, I almost want to say second of the day. I'm not quite there yet. Every single minute of the day. I would say almost at any time I get on my blog, I could see the traffic. And there's usually at least 15 to 20, 25, maybe even sometimes 30 people. So there's always people on my blog. And because people are always there, how can I, offer them something that solves a problem that they have because they're coming to the blog for a reason? How can I offer them a product or service that's going to, number one, help them, but number two, create an income stream for my blog? So I feel like I'm going on a tangent because I kind of forgot what I was talking about. But I think I was talking about passive income and how it's this kind of, oh, yes. I was just saying that it takes work up front. You do have to create systems so that way you're bringing in traffic and you have things to sell. So it's kind of like blogging. It takes time, but it is so worth it. And that's also why I started blogging as my side hustle, because it was a wonderful way that I could bring in streams of passive income. Now, the reason I really wanted to have this episode about my blog side hustle is because I wanted to actually paint the picture of how I make money in my blog and how long it took me. Because in the beginning of blogging, if you're like, yes, Katie, I want in, you're not going to roll in a ton of money in the beginning, unless you're making money in other ways outside of the blog. That's what I did. When I started my blog, I was also doing freelance writing. I was doing webinars. So I was making money by doing contracts at the same time of building my blog side hustle, because I know that with my blog, once the passive income starts rolling in, that's money that you make day after day, week after week, month after month. And even if you take a step back and don't do any work, you're still going to be making money. I actually just got back from 5 days. I was in Orlando. I was at a business mastermind and it was really amazing, but I wasn't doing any work. I mean, I was at my mastermind, so I guess that's kind of work, but I wasn't doing work in my blog side hustle. And when I was actually flying back, I had a pretty long layover in Denver. So I was looking at my emails because every day I had pop-ups of like, I sold a handout, I sold an affiliate sale, I had made money through ads on my website. So I knew that I was making all these sales while I was there, but I actually sat down and did the math, and it was like over $700. I forget the exact number. I shared it on Instagram, but it was over $700 in 5 days without doing work. And that's passive income. And it is so darn cool. So let me paint the picture of my blog business. I started my blog, The Geriatric Dietitian, on June 29th, 2019. So my blog at the time of this going live it's a little bit over 2 years old. You know, it's still a pretty young website in the scheme of websites. So while I say that blogging takes time and passive income takes time, it's really not that long. I started making, I should actually do this math. I don't think I can right now. I'm pretty sure that, let me look at this. So I'm actually looking at how much money I made in my blog in the first 2 years in completely passive income. And it's about how much money that it took for me to get my graduate degree. Where my graduate degree, I paid that much money, took 2 years of time because it was a combined master's internship. But with my blog side hustle, it took me 2 years and I made that much money. Granted, I had some pretty good, what am I saying? I had like an assistantship and didn't pay a ton for my college, but the student loans is more like for living and books and all the things. So let me talk to you about the blog and how kind of the money came in. And so I'm actually looking at a PowerPoint that I made that I do in different presentations. And I'm not sharing it if you're watching on YouTube. If you're wondering, where is this thing? I really just wanted to talk to you about it. But what I did was I looked at my first 2 years of blogging and I broke that into 4 6-month chunks. So the first chunk, the second chunk, the third chunk, and the fourth chunk. And I wanted to tell you guys first off, what I created each, I want to say quarter, but it's not a quarter, it's 6 months. Each 6-month chunk, and then how much money I made. So the first 6 months of my blog, I had one stream of income, and that was selling digital goods, handouts on RD to RD. In the first 6 months of my blog, I made $59. And I know you're probably like, oh, that doesn't sound too amazing, Katie. I mean, good for you. But I will tell you at the time, I was pretty darn amazed because I made these handouts. I'm like, I made $60. And I know it's money I'll continue to make and I don't have to, put in more time because people go to my website, the handouts are there and that's how they buy them. So then the next 6-month chunk. So 6-month quarter, number 2, I added another income stream. So I now had digital goods and ebooks. That's when I came out with my High Calorie Shakes e-cookbook. And in that second chunk, I ended up making $744. Now that's quite a jump, right? From 59 to 744. And I made that. I ended up selling 144 in digital goods. So I doubled how much I was selling with digital goods. And I sold about $630-ish in ebooks. So those handouts I made when I started my blog, I didn't have to go out there and try to sell them, get people to buy them. People just continued to buy them by coming to the blog. And over time, more and more people did. So then in the third chunk of 6-month time, I ended up making $2,044. Again, like mind blowing to me because I was like, oh, it feels like so much money for my blog. So I ended up selling in that six-month chunk. I sold $287 in digital goods. So continued to move my way on up. And then $1,757 in ebooks. So I'm going to say this again. First 6 months, 59. Second 6 months, 744. Third 6 months, 2,044. So you can see in the beginning, I didn't make a lot, but over time it continues to grow. Now, something really fun happened in the last 6-month chunk of my business, and that was starting to get paid through ad revenue. I ended up building up enough traffic on my website. I had over 50,000 people coming to the website every month. So I was able to apply for a high-end ad network called Mediavine, and Mediavine is amazing. So I was able to get ads on my website, and that is the biggest stream of income on my blog. So let me paint you the picture of how much money I made in the fourth 6-month chunk on my blog. Remember, 59, 744, 2,044. So in the last 6-month chunk of the 2 years of my blog, I made $15,493. And let me break that down for you. In that 6-month period, I made $365 in digital goods, $1,600 in ebooks, $12,875 in ads, $71 in affiliates, and $582 in courses, because I forgot to mention I did add a course during that chunk of time. So a total of $15,493. So when we look at the whole two-year period of my blog from start to 2 months old, you can see that the growth was like exponential. Like it was really massive. So for me, that first year of blogging, just doing the math here, it's about $800. So the first year I made it about $800. It's not a ton, but it's still pretty cool. But then in the second year, I made $17,500. That's a big chunk. And the cool thing about blogging is that I continue to make passive income day after day, week after week, month after month. So I do want to kind of break this down to you. I'm going to look at the last, that last 6-month chunk I was talking about where I made $15,493. And that was in the time period. It was pretty much the first 6 months of 2021. And so I kind of broke down to you guys how I made the money, but I think it's interesting to look at the actual time that it takes to make that money. So the median dietitian salary is around $32.97 per hour. So let's just assume that, I'm making the median salary for a dietitian. Now, to have made $15,493 in that 6-month time block, it would have taken me 569 hours total. That would have been roughly 74 hours per month, roughly 20 hours per week. So that's quite a bit of time in actually, working. If I was getting paid that amount and I was trading time for money, I would have had to work 20 hours every single week to make that income. So I hope that kind of paints a good picture about why I love blogging. It's like the longer you do it, the more money you make, the less time you have to work. Now, I will say I work with dietetic interns and they often help me by writing blog articles. I've gotten to the point, because I actually make money blogging, that I hire other dietitians so that way they're getting some really fun freelance writing experience and I'm getting great content for my blog without having to trade time for money. So when it comes to how much time I spend on the blog itself, I would say probably, one's always so hard to give estimates on because it changes every single month. Some months I don't write any blog articles. I have other people do it. Other months I write a lot because I'm really inspired. But I would say, if it takes me, probably with the actual blogging with the geriatric dietitian, I would say maybe I spend 3 hours a week on it. Maybe. And again, if I'm spending 3 hours, I'm getting paid for 20 hours. So that's 17 hours of time that I'm not, working, and it's all through passive income. So I know I was really sharing with you how much money I made through, June 2019 to June 2021, but we are right now, at least when I'm recording this, it's September. So I wanted to give you a picture because on the Dietitian Side Hustle Instagram page, I'm trying to share a passive income report. It's just like a image I make in Canva, but I'm trying to share it every single month so you guys can see what this looks like. So looking at August of 2021, I actually had my highest month ever. So this is in 1 month. I made $3,455 in passive income on my blog. And, my blog side hustle is so much fun. I get to write about things that I like to write about. I get to spread all of this nutrition information that's really important to me about geriatrics. So that way I'm hopefully changing, the impact and lives of older adults in the community and people who care for them. And I'm able to bring in multiple streams of income, particularly passive income. And again, it's the perfect side hustle because I could work a full-time job, do this on my spare time whenever it works for me, and over time it compounds. I'm making more money and working less, and it's just really a beautiful side hustle. So it's one of those things where when you start a blog, you're not going to be rolling in the dough. But if you're willing to learn the right strategy and stick with it, then it's amazing the impact that it can have in your life, the lives of others, and, even financially for your family, for yourself. It is just so darn cool, which is why I love telling dietitians all about my blog side hustle, because you don't have to have a full-time, you don't have to be a full-time blogger. I know full-time bloggers and it's cool, but you do not have to do this full-time. I'm actually going to be interviewing my friend Melanie Betts on it's this Friday, and I'm trying to think, I think actually, her episode's going to be next week, guys. So make sure that in 2 weeks, the 59th episode of the Dietitian Side Hustle is going to feature my friend Melanie Betts, unless something happens and then we have to push it back, but I'm sure we'll be fine. So be sure to go listen to her podcast interview because she is a blogger too. It's her side hustle, and she actually is having very similar success as what I've had with the geriatric dietitian. It's just, she started about 6 months after me, but she is doing amazing, right on track. She just got approved for Mediavine, which is that high-end ad network I was telling you guys about, which is why I was like, you got to come on the blog or on the podcast and tell people about this and kind of share your story, because dietitians need to know that this is possible. It is really fun, and it's a way that you can make impact and make money. So I also want to talk to you guys about my Blogging Accelerator program. I am so excited that my 6th cohort of the Blogging Accelerator Program is launching on October 11th. So let me confirm my calendar here. So this episode is going live on October 6th, 2021. So if you happen to hear this live or in the few days after, know that the 6th cohort is launching on October 11th, and I would love to have you in that cohort. It's a really wonderful, lovely program. We've had over 70 dietitians go through the program, which means we are creating blogs left and right. We are trying to make it when anyone searches a topic on Google, it brings you to a blog written by a dietitian. So that way the public gets correct information and the dietitian can make money. The Blogging Accelerator Program is designed to help you create a blog that will make impact and bring you in income over time. And while it's not a ton of money overnight, hopefully by listening to me sharing all of these numbers and dates, it can give you this picture of wow, that's really not that much time. I don't have to wait that long. I mean, could you imagine what your life would look like 2 years from now if you had started a blog and had these passive income streams? Again, last month I made $3,455 in completely passive income just through the blog. So I hope that this episode inspired you and kind of got you interested in learning a little bit more about blogging as a side hustle or blogging as a business. And if you would like to learn more about the Blogging Accelerator Program, I do hop on free strategy sessions, free calls with dietitians to kind of talk them through where are you at? Where do you want to be? What are your goals? Is this program a good fit for you? So if you're listening, you're like, yeah, Katie, I've heard you talk about the Blogging Accelerator Program, and you got that inkling of now is the time, sign up, join the 6th cohort. I will tell you the price of the program is going up by a pretty big chunk of change after the 11th. So if you're able to get in that date, wonderful. If not, you know what? Over time, the price will continue to grow. So get in as soon as you can. You have lifetime access to the program, and you get access to the program and the community, which is so lovely because it will help you stay committed and inspired and encouraged as you continue to build up your blog side hustle. So in this episode, I talked to you guys all about my blog side hustle, but I would love to have you in my program and one day have you on here interviewing you about your blog side hustle. So thank you guys so much for listening. Again, go ahead and go to my show notes, and I've got the link for the Blogging Accelerator Program. You can also go to my website, Dietitian Side Hustle. With About, there's a little drop down thing. You can click on it and it says Blogging Program. So you can click on that and it has all the information about the blogging program, and also a link where if you want to schedule a call with me and we could chat and make sure, like, is this the best fit for me? So I hope that this episode was informational and inspirational, and as always, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really do appreciate you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk next time. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast, guys. Be sure to head on over to the Dietitian Side Hustle website at dietitiansidehustle.com and check out our coaching page to learn about all the ways that we can work together. Have an amazing day, and I'm so proud of you for taking the initiative to listen to this podcast. Now go out there and get it done. Bye, guys.